Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and it's wonderful that you could stop by for a while here today. Well, recently on this channel we've been dealing with the Revision A Power Mac G3 Blue and White that I picked up for the incredible sum of $30 on a Facebook Marketplace. And the way it sat, you had to question why spend 30 bucks on it. So I put together my plan on resurrecting the machine. I intended to do it without spending any money, simply to use spare parts that I had available. I almost made it. I did end up having to buy another 128 gigabyte SSD, which fortunately you can get those in these times for less than $20. I also, just to get the machine running smoothly and not crashing all the time, I borrowed the RAM from my Revision B Blue and White so I could bring it up to its maximum 1 gigabyte, which did in fact help it to run more smoothly. I've got 10.4 Tiger installed on it with the assistance of the world's most powerful sawtooth. Great machine, that. I also have OS 9, of course, which is the natural operating system for that machine. And just for the historical import, I put on 10.0 Cheetah. You've seen this happen in past videos, if in fact you've been looking at those videos, and if you have, I thank you very much. Now we're going to take a look at the machine in operation, see what it can do, and what its place might be in the modern world of computing, retro computing style. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, I hope that you'll please stay tuned. Well, here we are on the Tiger desktop on the Revision A Blue and White. You may recall, in order to install Tiger, you've got to do something. The Tiger installation is on a DVD. Now you can track down CD images where you'd get multiple CDs for it. You could put a DVD drive into the Blue and White. I found it easier simply to connect the eventual boot drive to the world's most powerful sawtooth, installed it there, which enabled me to use my FireWire installer. That was a good deal easier. I then did some minimal setting up, plugged it back into the Blue and White. That proved to be a problem. The machine kept crashing, and it crashed a lot. If we take a look at about this Mac, we can see how slowly about this Mac comes up. Yes, it's an old computer. 400 megahertz power PC. I eventually borrowed 1 gigabyte of RAM from my Revision B Blue and White. It did help to alleviate the crashing. So often it would crash when I was transferring a large file. We might as well, while we're here, look at more info. So memory, eventually we'll have to get the 1 gigabyte of memory. It would be nice to do something to improve the graphics card. They can be hard to find for the Revision B Blue and White. I had to do a lot of looking before I eventually found a 128 megabyte, or was it 64? I guess it was 64 megabyte graphics card for that. Not very common. So some there are upgrades that can be done. One of the important reasons you need Tiger is that Tiger can connect to modern networks. You see here a variety of other computers that I have up and running, the Sawtooth, my 2015 iMac, Mac Pros. That's interesting, it shows the same Mac Pro twice. Well, anyway, but we also have, Lee's Airport Extreme here. How interesting. Oh, I see why it's coming up. It's showing for both Apple file Protocol and Samba. Okay, so we can mount the drive and transfer whatever is needed. Or I can get files directly from another computer if I want. That's what all of these miscellaneous folders sitting here are doing. These are all OS 9 materials. Various games for OS 9. I brought a lot of other things too. Productivity suites, ClassZilla I brought in. I did a lot of that because I've got those saved on the file server. So I didn't have to search them through the internet, take the time of downloading from the internet. So I just moved them here onto Tiger and then simply moved them from Tiger onto OS 9. Now, most of these are no longer necessary. So we can clean up my desktop a bit. I prefer to keep a tidy desktop. You know, things that I'm immediately working on, I may have sit there just to make them easy to find. All right, now, actually, the operating system works pretty well. 10.4 Bird is a very functional email client. 10.4 Fox is a G3 version. It's slow getting to the internet. Now, we've got some things here that are useless. Mail is built into Tiger. Not worth a lot. Safari, no. iChat, not functional. All right, address book works, and little things like my grandfather, I made a family, you know, you can do all of that. iTunes. The version of iTunes in Tiger will not connect to the iTunes store. You can't download things from iTunes. You cannot purchase things. But you can put your own music on there. You've heard that before. I like that, but I'm not going to make you sit through it any longer. iPhoto, same thing. It won't connect to other machines to get pictures, but family picture. All right. So we'll get out of that. We don't spend forever with this. iMovie, I mean, it does work. GarageBand probably works. iCal. Now, I thought, I guess I'm remembering wrong. I thought I had gone ahead and put a Golden Knights calendar into iCal, but evidently not. Doesn't matter. You can. It does work. Why they put a Quicktime Player icon there, that's probably built in from older days of Mac OS, which we'll see later on. Then your basic productivity. The print shop, you know, it's nice for making greeting cards and e-cards and all kinds of things. The iWork suite, I think that's iWork 09, which is pretty recent, and these all work very well. NeoOffice, MS Office. Okay, Carbon Copy Cloner I put on there. I haven't actually had to use it on this machine, but nice to have it available. All right, now, I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time digging into this. I probably spent more time than I should have already, because this is an overview. I think the next thing now, working backwards in operating systems. I might just start up disk here. We've just done Tiger. Let's have a look at Cheetah. And if you want that look at Cheetah, please stay tuned. And here we are in Mac OS. We should look at about this Mac. Mac OS 10.0.4, codename Cheetah. It would actually give you the the RAM in megabytes there. They don't even tell you exactly what the processor is. All right, now I could easily do a video just on Cheetah, although I mean you can find a lot of videos on similar things, but specifically on Cheetah. It's the first version, of course, of Mac OS X. It was released in late March of 2001 and had a lifespan as the primary operating system, well, sort of the primary operating system, of 6 months. They charged $129 for it. And while people looked at it and it's very pretty, it couldn't do anything. There was very little that it could do. Now, one of the things, if you play around with these first 3 versions of Mac OS, actually first 4 versions up to Panther, getting them updated to their final status is kind of difficult. Apple has archived all of the software updates, but it's quite a look for them. Now, I found the ones that I need. I've archived them on my file server, so I don't have to go through that again. But yeah, you can't just click software update on them anymore. So I did that. I did upload it to 10.0.4, which did run quite a bit more smoothly than 10.0.0 did. But never could it really do anything. Mail was useless and is, well, back in the day it worked. As I guess did Internet Explorer, but you'll see here once it boots up, which it will eventually do if we're patient enough. And it couldn't open whatever it was trying to open. All right. So it does go to Google. That's at least something. What should we search for? I'll search for mommy. And it crashes. Oh, no, I've checked that out before. Yeah, anything you search for on Google, it crashes. So it will bring up Google. We'll give it that. So yeah, those are today effectively useless. Back in the day, I assume they worked. To get in the internet, ClassZilla. Now, people who dabble with Mac OS 8, Mac OS 9, of course, are probably familiar with ClassZilla. But here's the kicker to using 10.0. There was no third-party software to speak of. This is running under Classic. You can see how the Apple logo changed to a traditional rainbow apple. This is actually the ClassZilla that I have installed on my Mac OS 9 installation. And it runs under Classic. This is the only browser that will get anywhere. You can also do email. There's mail and news groups. I won't click that up because it tends to expose all of my email if I do that. Since everything just opens up. Okay. And that's very much the story of anything you want to do. Spotlight didn't exist yet. That didn't come out actually until Tiger. Sherlock was still there. And again, you know, we look at a lot of these things. Sherlock doesn't do anything today, either on OS 9 or here in Cheetah. I am sure 20 years ago, 21, 22 years ago, it did. All right. You get a kick out of system preferences. There's nothing there, really. I mean, that's just how
sparse that is. Displays. Why is there a link to displays? I don't really get it. Now, Quicktime Player. Why is there a Quicktime Player in there? We saw that it still existed in Tiger. Quicktime Player back in the day, from about 1999 in, please open up, 1999 in OS 8 through OS 9 and the early version of OS 10, it was a media player. You could look at clips from CNN, from Bloomberg, HBO, the Weather Channel. Now, you try to click on any of those today, they can't open. You know, none of those links made any sense. But yeah, it was sort of a media player in of itself, as opposed to today. Quicktime Player, of course, still exists, but it's just a media player. You have a video file, double click on it, it usually will open up media player. All right, this is about the only added software that actually runs on 10.0, AppleWorks. Now, the key, this looks exactly like AppleWorks on OS 9. And the actual point, it is. This is a carbonized app, meaning it's simply an OS 9 app which ran through the Carbon API, made it into an OS 10 app, going through that same sort of thing today with converting Intel apps onto, pardon me, well, quit out of this, Intel apps onto Apple Silicon. All right, but yeah, print shop. That's the OS 9 print shop. Yeah, so really, Cheetah couldn't do anything. Really couldn't. The one thing full tilt pinball, Space Cadet. Old line Windows users will probably remember this very, very well. Oh, when I was younger, I wasted so much time playing this. And I have been these last few days. Oops. I used to be pretty good at this. I'm not now. There we go. And the interesting thing about this is, you can see the rainbow apple in the upper left there. This is an OS 9 app. It actually, for whatever reason, I don't really know why, it runs better on Cheetah than it does natively on OS 9. Makes no sense to me, but hey. Okay. We could spend forever doing this, so I'm going to stop that. Now, it has to run in 256 colors. There's a mechanism in it to actually change the display back, and once you close it, it goes back to normal, which is very good. So that's the one reason why I actually will open this machine up in Cheetah. All right. And To get through to the end of this little tour, our next stop is going to be macOS 9.2.2. And the interesting thing here, there's no link to just restart it, so I'll have to choose that. So if you want to see OS 9, stay tuned. And finally, here we are on macOS 9. I love macOS 9. It was released in the year 2000, really just as a bridge to getting into OS 10. But it hung on for a while, because while for about a year it was the operating system, 10.0 came out. We've seen just how little useful 10.0 was. 10.1, Puma was not substantially better. So that gave it a second year. And even within Jaguar was where 10.2 was when OS 10 began to be truly useful. But still, OS 9 hung on. A lot of people just kept booting into OS 9. So there was about 3 years there where this was it for the world of Mac. It was billed as the Internet OS. Obviously now that's not really true. The built-in browsers, Netscape 4, actually can get to some places. Internet Explorer, you can get to fewer places. Outlook, which was built in as the email, and Netscape 4 as email, can't get very far. But yeah, that's the way they were. Now, I've eliminated some of the, like the register for Apple, the connect, to browse the internet, and the mail icons, which all go to applications that are simply not at all useful anymore. Quicktime Player, we saw this in Cheetah, and it's exactly the same thing. There's an icon here because it really served as a media player. You could go to various sites on the internet and watch video clips. None of them work now, of course, but there you go. Sherlock has some use to this day as a system search engine. Its aggregate search on the internet function is pretty much useless because a lot of the search engines that it aggregates are dead. I've got Toast Titanium. I was a little surprised. I thought Toast came pre-bundled with Mac OS 9, at least on the one that came on this CD. It did not. You have to add it. If you're going to add anything to OS 9 these days, anything, you go to Macintosh Garden or Macintosh Repository to get. You're probably going to download disk images from CDs or DVDs, and you will need Toast to mount them. Stuff Expander is very necessary to unarchive either Stuff It archives, or it can do zip archives, a lot of other things too. You can access the internet. When I first started playing with OS 9, it was already out of date, but ClassZilla actually worked at that point. And it does. It can get you places. There's a lot of places it simply will not open. However, a couple of important places it can get you. Macintosh Garden or Macintosh Repository, either one. So you can use ClassZilla and search for software that would be useful. I find it a lot easier to boot into Tiger and find things, but that is as it is. Okay, so ClassZilla is important. Now, as far as productivity, you've got that. Apple Works. You saw this in Cheetah. It's exactly the same program. It simply was carbonized to run on OS 10 and kept running up until the end of PowerPC. uh, with word processing, spreadsheet, database, drawing program, kind of fun, painting and presentation. All of that is there. Or you do have, you know, MS Office. I put a link to Word there, but it also has PowerPoint and Excel and, well, Entourage is there, although it's kind of useless. Print Shop. I've talked about Print Shop a lot in videos. That gives you, you know, you can do posters, you can do greeting cards, online greetings. Really nice. iTunes. Much the same with the others. iTunes imported all sorts of stuff from who knows where, but I was able to add in. Good old circus jig. This is not the only banjo tune I know how to play. I just made this one as an MP3 so that I can use it. All right. Okay. iMovie, we won't bother to get into that. But, you know, the big reason for having OS 9 and actually for having this computer makes an excellent OS 9 games presentation. Now, full disclosure, I tried doing this before, and I got into the games and started running the games, and it just got way too long. So it occurred to me, maybe I should just make a separate games video, and I think I will do that. But I did want to boot up Full Tilt, Space Cadet. Man, that's loud. Okay, it will automatically change my colors as it did there. I just wanted to show the distinction. It actually runs better on Cheetah than it does on OS 9, even though it's an OS 9 app. Okay. Just started a new game. And load the ball, which happened automatically on Cheetah. And now we wait and wait and wait. And I get bored, so I load the ball again. And I hit some of the controls. Will the ball ever load? Now, I'll tell you, it will eventually load. It probably looks better on OS 9. There, you hear that sound? That's the ball will come up any minute now. It really will, awaiting deployment. Ah, there's the ball. And off we go. And once you've done that, it plays very much like it does on Cheetah. But it went into a wormhole. Now, on Cheetah, the ball would just reappear. On OS 9, you wait and you wait. I have no idea why that's different. But if you want to play this game specifically, booting it to Cheetah is the answer. And there's the ball again. And this is fun. It's hard to stop. Oh, another wormhole. Tell you what, I'm going to quit out of that. And yeah, there needs to be a separate video for games. But games are probably the big item for using this particular computer. So I will say at this point, we're pretty much done with this video. So please be good to other people. They deserve it. Be good to yourselves. If we make this a better world, you need to be able to appreciate it. It isn't that better world yet. So take very, very good and careful care in these most difficult times. We'll be back. We'll have that games video out, I am sure. We will have a number of other things too. I've got some Power Mac G4 goodness coming up, and who knows what else. So until those things come up, this has been Broken Electronics.